Hello, my friends. Jill Ortiz here, and this is our 2026 Vision Board Workshop. So I welcome you here. Now, what you're going to need today is a piece of paper and a pen. And don't worry, we're not going to finish this right now. I'm going to give you the quick tutorial. It's only going to be about 30 minutes max to take you through the exercise. But what you can do is you can do it later, or you can, once we finish, you can pause and take time to do each thing and write things down. If you're watching on the replay, this is a good one for the replay because you don't have to get it done in this 30 minutes. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about 2026 and what you envision for your life. And I got to say, there are so many people out there. I'd say the majority, 95% of people do not do this. They never actually stop to envision what they want in life. And so they don't get it, or they don't even know what they want because they're not even thinking about it. So when you get here, I see people popping on. It might take a second for people to see that we're live. So if you are on right now, then I want you to tell me where you're tuning in from. If you're here on the replay, or if you're here live, just let me know in the comments below. And I'm excited because you are going to take the time to think about what you want in life. And I'm going to walk you through this 4-step exercise and help you do that. And then you're going to start achieving more goals. I've been doing this now for 10 years. I had a mentor who taught me how to do this 10 years ago. And I mentioned this in one of my lives the other day. When I go back, and I still have my list, my dream list of all these things that I wanted, and over half of them, maybe 75% of them, are checked off. And many of the rest are just irrelevant now because I've changed. And this is why I do this exercise every single December. And I create a new vision board and things change. And I look right now, before we started, I was looking back at my 2025 vision board. And there's things on there that I'm taking off for 2026 because I've changed, I've evolved, my desires have changed, my priorities have changed. And so I think this is really important that we do this, and we do it every year. So again, if you're just hopping on, grab a pen, grab paper. You are probably going to have to go back and watch the replay to pause and really take time, because I'm going to take you through the steps, but not necessarily give you all the time you need to do this. The big idea here is that where your attention goes, your energy flows. So this is something that I want you to be looking at often, like daily, and thinking about all the time. So for instance, if somebody asked you, oh, what do you envision for your life? Then you could just immediately pop into, bring this back into your mind and say, oh, I know, because I actually created a vision board for my life. And for me, what I do, I will show you later, is I have mine as the background screen on my laptop. I use my laptop every single day for my business. And so every day when I open my laptop, the desktop background or wallpaper is my vision. And so I see these things all the time, and it helps remind me of what it is I want and what I need to do to get there. So that's what we're going to do today. So step number 1, do you have paper? Do you have a pen? Because you're going to need it. And you can write down the steps right now, and you can write down whatever you need to. Everything I'm going to say is described at length here. You have the whole write-up. You have all of the steps, all of the questions, all of the prompts. What do you need me for? I will help you through it. So let's go through step 1. Step 1 is envisioning you in 2026. Okay. So you're going to write down the answers to these. I think I have 4 questions here. And again, you can write it on a piece of paper. You can sit down and type it later. What they say is that things that are written down, it opens up your brain in a different way, and it helps the thoughts continue to come, and it helps facilitate better thinking. So I suggest doing it, writing it down on paper. That's what I do every year. So number one, you've got 4 questions here, and you can start thinking about these as I go through. Again, you might not have time, although this one I think you might have time for. So number one, this is in your vision of 2026. Who do you live with, right? Who's in your family? Is it a spouse? Is it a partner? Is it your fur babies? I know my husband, if I asked him to do this, he'd be like, yeah, we'd have 7 dogs. We'd live on a farm with hundreds of dogs. That's not my vision. So maybe it's bringing your parents into your home. Maybe it's kicking your kids out. So who do you live with? And that's going to shape a lot of your values and your priorities for the next year as well. So who do you live with in 2026? And if you want to comment, you are welcome to comment here or make your notes here. Okay. Another thing that I want you to look at is, what did I accomplish? What is something I accomplished in 2025? And what I like to do when I'm thinking about this question and answering this question is that's when I make my 9 square. I don't know if you've ever heard of a 9 square or seen it. I put this on my Instagram. I post it on Facebook, and I, kind of comment. What I do is I go through the camera roll of my phone and I look through and I look for my 9 favorite pictures. And I don't know if you can favorite them or you just save them to a special folder. I look for my 9 favorite pictures of the year and I arrange them in a collage. I have an app on my phone. It's called Pick Collage. And I use the grid and I make a 9 square grid of my favorite memories from the year. And so this will help you see, what did I accomplish? What am I most proud of? What were my best moments? So I want you to pick something in 2025 that you accomplished, that you were super proud of. And maybe if you want, make yourself a 9 square and share about it. Share it with your friends, your family. If you're like me, your followers, and share it with yourself and really celebrate the great times and what you are proud of this year. Okay. So the next thing is, what is something you hope to accomplish in 2026? And so what we want this one thing to be is, we call it a push goal. And generally what this one big thing does is it helps us to accomplish all of our other goals. So for instance, maybe it is to increase your wealth. Right? Because if you increase your wealth, then you can buy a new car, you can go on more trips, and you can contribute more, right? You can donate and you can give more. Maybe it is improving your health, because if you improve your health, then you can travel more and you can have more energy for your family, and you can, maybe advance at work because you have, better health. And then what was the other one I had here? Personal growth. Maybe personally growing will lead to better career, better finding a new spouse or a mate or whatever it is that you are wanting. So this is your big thing that you want to accomplish. What is something that you want to basically raise the level of in 2026 that will affect all other things in your life? Okay. So 3 that I wrote down, personal wealth, personal health, and personal growth. Those are some things, but you can choose, right? So what is it, something you want to accomplish in 2026 that will help align all of your other goals? And then the last question, and again, all of these questions are written out here, so you'll be able to go back, or you can replay me and pause as you sit and write your answers. I want you to describe yourself in 3 words. This is something that I have really enjoyed doing for several years. I went to a day-long yoga and workshop, and I met some amazing people there. And one of the exercises there was to figure out your true essence and how other people see you and how you see you and how those things align. And so what I want you to do is find your true essence by describing yourself in 3 words. And so I'm going to take you through my 3 words that I was thinking about before we started here. 2 of them I 100% carry through every single year since I started doing this. Number one, authentic. I am authentically Jill Ortiz. I don't march to anybody else's drummer. Somebody told me, a good family friend, made a proclamation to everybody who I knew when I was 13 that I am a person who marches to her own drummer. I've got my own beat. I don't care what anybody else is doing around me. I've got to live my path. And sometimes it's creating my own path. And I hope that people appreciate that about me, but I have got to live in my authentic self and whatever that means. And oftentimes that is evolving. And so authentic is something that is my number one word. The second one is strong. I know a lot of people see me as strong. I want people to see me as strong. When I walk in a room, I want people to go, "Oh, she's strong." And maybe she's got a strong personality. And, strength in so many ways is important to me. Physical strength, mental strength. When I was in college, I even had the Chinese symbol for strength tattooed on my back. And yes, I did study abroad in China, so it wasn't just, something silly, but it was better. My first choice was actually going to be the Superman emblem, but then I got smart on that and I didn't do that. My third one that I thought about for this year has changed. Last year, I chose motivating, because I feel like so many of you say you need motivation. But this year, more importantly to me, is reliable. And I want everybody to know that they can rely on me. I like to be strong for others, but I like to be reliable. A reliable source not only for motivation, but for care and love and whatever somebody needs me for, I will make myself available and they know they can come to me. So these are the three things that are my true essence, right? And what's important about this is that it is incredibly hard to live in a way that is not your truth and is not aligned with who you are. And so if you think of anybody you know who kind of comes off as fake, or you feel like they're hiding something, or if you are hiding something, it's very hard to live your life fully when you are not living your truth. And so this is what I want you to figure out for yourself, is your 3 words, okay? So that's envisioning you in 2026, okay? Step 1, done. Like I said, if you need to pause, go back. Once we're done here, you can go back and do this at your speed, okay? Number 2 is a brain dump. So you might need to take your paper and flip it over or get a new piece of paper. This is where we are going to dump out everything that is in your head that you want, okay? This is focusing on being crystal clear about your dreams, envisioning the life that you want, taking an empty sheet of paper. And again, when you write it with a pen or a pencil or whatever, so much more comes out and you can be writing and thinking at the same time. Don't restrict yourself. Anything and everything that comes to mind, don't feel like you're being selfish. Don't feel like it's impossible. I want you to be selfish. This is your dream life. I want you to dream big. And so you can think about cars that you want, homes that you want, vacations that you want, whether it's, physical items or pets or people or relationships, anything in any realm of this world. I remember the first thing I ever wrote down that I wanted on my, dream list was to work from home, because I was a mom of little kids and I did not want to be working in New York City, which was 2 hours away from my house. I did 4 hours of commuting each day to be at my job, and I just wanted to be at home. And so whatever it is in your life, I want you to just dump all the things that you want. And, things that I put, concerts that I want to go to, places I want to see, friends I want to visit, all kinds of things. So that's step 2. Just let it flow. Don't feel guilty about wanting everything and anything that you want. Okay. All right. Step number 3. We are going to get a little more concrete than the dreams and the vision. And we are going to talk about goals for 2026, right? So these are things that are going to get you closer to living your dream life. And it's important that these are SMART goals. So I'm sure many of you have heard of what SMART goals are. It's an acronym. I'm going to take you through that acronym. And so I want to tell you exactly what a SMART goal is. And then I'm going to tell you the categories that we can choose our SMART goals from. So we're going to write down 7 main SMART goals. Okay. So S, specific. Okay. So get in shape is not a specific goal. How are you going to know when you get there, right? What does it mean? What does it look like? It might mean fitting into that pair of jeans that I wore 3 years ago. That might be your SMART goal without a muffin top. It might be a certain, seeing six-pack abs, right? That could be a SMART goal, not just getting in shape. So we have to be specific so that we know when we achieve that goal, okay? Similar to that, the M is measurable, okay? So it needs to be, again, it's not, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight, right? Because how are you going to know if you got there? So I want to lose 20 pounds, right? I want to lower my A1C by this many points, right? So that's going to be your measurable. I want to have this many dollars in my savings account, okay? And again, they're going to relate to what you want. I don't want to just get a promotion. I want to be the vice president of marketing, right? So measurable. What exactly is it? Specific and measurable, okay? The next one is achievable, okay? So it has to actually be possible. We don't want to set impossible goals like I want to be the president of the United States in 2 years, because that's not going to happen, right? So it has to be something that's achievable, realistic, right? So that's SMA. So R means relevant. So it has to be something that's relevant to you and your values and your dreams that we were talking about. So if I hate running, I absolutely hate running, then I'm not going to say that my goal is to run 5 miles a day, 7 days a week until, I can run a 4-minute mile. That is not relevant to me because I don't like to run. So why am I making a goal that has to do with running if I'm not even somebody who likes to run, right? So we want your goals to be relevant to your dream life, okay? Don't just say things that you wouldn't even want to do. And then the last one, the T in SMART, is time bound. So you have to make a deadline for yourself. So it is, I want to lose 20 pounds by May, right? I want to become the vice president of marketing by July. I want to do this by this time. And the point of setting that time frame is we can then reverse engineer. We can have accountability to the goal, right? And I will tell you, there's been so many goals in my life that I have made, right? And then I just missed the mark, right? So let's say I have a goal, financial goal, making this much money in this month. Well, I was pushing and pushing and pushing and I missed that goal, right? But then the next week I hit it. Or different things like that. And, I want to lose 10 pounds, in the next 10 weeks. Well, let's say I lose 9 pounds in 10 weeks, but then on the 11th or 12th week, I lose the 10 pounds. That happens so often. And what the time bound does, having that deadline, is it pushes you, right? They talk about, I forget whose rule, I don't know if it's Pareto's law, is using all the time that you have to achieve something. The most points in many games in football and basketball come in the fourth quarter. That being time bound, it adds this sense of urgency. Same thing with financial planners, the end of their financial fiscal year, they push as hard as they can and they make the most money in those months. So that's the the benefit of having your goals be time bound. Even if you don't hit them in that time, still going to push you more than if you did not have those deadlines. Okay. So now we know what a SMART goal is. So we want to kind of tick through when we make our goals and make sure that they are SMART goals. Then we want to figure out, to help you come up with your goals, what are some different areas of your life that you can create these goals from? So what I like to do is look at different categories and maybe choose one from each category. You can always add more categories if something doesn't fit any of these categories. I will tell you categories that I wrote down. Number one, career or business, right? Maybe you have a goal to start your own business. Maybe you have a goal to advance in your career. Maybe you have a goal to retire in your career. That could be time bound. That could be, relevant if you're looking to spend more time with your loved ones. So career or business. The second one is relationships. And this is one that I always have on my dream board, is to improve my relationship with my husband. We've been married now for 17 years, and you got to work to keep that thing alive, right? And I also feel that it's important for me to have individual relationships with my kids. And of course, having two boys 2 years apart, major goal for me is for them to have a strong bond. I know how important my bond is with my sister. And so having that person in your life who probably gets you and who is around your age, same gender, they're going to need each other later in life. So relationships. The next one is finances. I think this is big, especially, in our economy and, maybe the stage of your life where you've got more financial responsibility. We've got kids' college that we're thinking about. We have retirement that we think about. So do you have a financial goal? And again, think about your SMART goals. Exactly how much, and this is going to help us to shape our life. Your health goals, right? Are you ill? Are you trying to prevent illness? One big thing for me is that I know my grandmother had osteoporosis, and so I actually have signed up for a certification. They are holding it in February to get certified as a bone health and osteoporosis specialized personal trainer. And so that's something that for me, health is important, strength is important, immunity is important. And so do you need to set a health goal? And what would that look like? And how do you make that a SMART goal? Okay. Learning, again, for me, learning, incredibly important. I have to learn because in my certification as a personal trainer, in order to keep it, I have to get a certain amount of continuing education credits every 2 years. And so that's where, when I choose that area, for me, bone health, incredibly important to me and my clientele, that is the direction that I've chosen to go in 2026. So getting this certification could be my learning goal. And so I know what I want to get. I know when exactly that is. And then I'll figure out, what else do I need to do to complete that? Spirituality, is that something that's important to you? Do you want to become closer with God or a religious community or whatever that means to you? Creativity, is that something that you've lost, that you have not tapped into in quite a while? What can you do to, what is a goal? What's important to you? I know I wanted to tap back into my creativity a few years ago, so I hired an art teacher and joined an art class, and I bought coloring books, and I made my kids' volcano for science class this week. So what is a possible creativity goal? Is there a certain textile that you enjoy? Is it painting? Is it sewing? What would that bring to you if it is something that's important? So, and then you can create your own areas as well, your own category. If you have category ideas, drop them in the comments below. That's really fun when other people help us to think about these things, okay? So that is it. I suggest, and I don't think I wrote it in here, but what I like to do is, once I have my 7 goals written out, is I like to challenge myself to then write out, and I kind of like, it looks like little spokes, 3 action items per goal, right? So let's go back to the learning one, since that's kind of relevant for me right now, is I really got obsessed with bone health. And so I said to myself, my goal is to help people here to avoid breaking hips and ankles and this and that, because I know how detrimental that is to life, health, and your fitness goals, and you're living your best life. And so I said, I got to do something about this. So what did I do? First thing was I Googled personal trainer bone health certifications, right? Then I went to Audibles and I found all the books that I could find on bone health. And then I signed up for a certification, right? And so those are 3 steps that I took. So what I want you to do is make 3 little spokes for each of these goals and brainstorm what are action items that will get us there. And I hope this shows you that just by showing up, by completing this exercise, which again, even though 95% of people don't do this, 5% might show up for the activity, and then 75% won't finish this activity. But for those of you who do, you are going to get so much farther in life than if you didn't do this, right? And people wonder, like, how do you have all these things? How do you have this beautiful house? How do you live in Florida? Man, because I don't sit around, I act. As soon as I get an idea in my head, I thought on the 2nd of March, 3 years ago, I think it was 4 years ago now, on the 2nd of March, which is my birthday, I said, I want to move to Florida. And that night, my husband and I were looking at real estate. My husband's job had transferred to Florida. They're based out of there, but it was a remote job. And my parents are in Florida, and I called a real estate agent, I called a mortgage guy. I mean, I took so much action that we bought a house 2 months later. 2 months later. And we lived here. That was March 2nd. Jay moved in June. The boys and I came down in July. It happened so fast because you brainstorm, you vision, you put it out there, and then you take action. And you make life happen for you, right? Okay, so let's move on to step 4. We're running out of time here. Make your vision board. Post it where you will see it daily, right? So it doesn't work unless you actually see your vision board. You can't do this exercise and then put it in a closet for the year, or else it's not going to happen. So you got to put it somewhere that you're going to see it every day, right? Maybe in your bathroom, or maybe like I do on my computer screen, if you're somebody who looks at a computer every day, or on your desk, or on a bulletin board in front of you, right? You want to make your board in a way that is enjoyable for you. So I do not like cutting and pasting and making a physical board. Ooh, I hate that stuff. I'm not crafty like that. My mom is, but I'm not. But I'm really good with PowerPoint, so I make mine in PowerPoint every year and put it on my computer screen. So I'm going to actually show you how I do that. There are apps you can use like Canva, PicMonkey, like I said, PowerPoint, whatever you like to use. And so do something that's relaxing and enjoyable for how you do it. Maybe for you, it's writing it. It's just words on a paper. Maybe you like to draw. Maybe it's pictures, right? So make it however it works for you. I'm going to pull up my screen and turn my computer or my phone around here. Sorry. Blah, 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 blah. And I will show you my 2025 one here. So, my back camera is a little dirty. So this is my computer, right? Here's my house. Here's my computer. So this is from last year, my vision board 2025. And again, you can see my boys on the right. You can see my husband and I. You can see, where's my words? My words are probably somewhere on there. I can't see. Let's see. We have income goals. We have my creativity was more sports modeling and commercials. I have my golf goal. Oh, there it is. I am authentic, strong, and motivating. I attract my soulmate clients and friends. So you can see all these fun little things. Things I wanted for myself was to be more kind, patient, and loving towards others, and respectful in all interactions. I might say except for with referees, except for with soccer referees. So that is how mine looks. I actually have my PowerPoint, and every year, I'm just going to do it right now. I basically just copy it. I'll show you again. I just copy and I create a new page here, a new slide. So I just duplicate the slide, and that makes it easy for me to update. I find some new pictures. You can see all the way back. What was this one? This one was 2020. So that was a different look. That was the body I was going back for. At that point, I was looking at my relationship with my sister. And of course, my husband and I are always up there, so I'm always just updating the picture of us. I had my Bahamas retreat, which yes, did happen. Golf league, yes, I joined one. Travel and discover new places. So just a lot of great stuff that, I made happen. I know last year on my dream board was trips to Italy and Hawaii, taking the boys to Hawaii. We took JJ to Italy this summer, and we have a 2-week trip to Hawaii planned for next summer. So, like I said, where your energy goes, or whatever that phrase is, where your focus goes, energy flows. And, you can have anything you want and anything you desire, as long as you envision it, put it out there, take action, and work for it. And I have so much faith. So create your vision board, share it with us, share it with me. If you want to email me, if you want to post it in our Empowered Fitness Mastery community, wherever you want to send it to me personally. I do want to know that you're getting it done. All right, so make that commitment now. I promise to get mine done before the end of the weekend. So this is the important thing and I want you to keep this in mind for all things, because I offer a lot of opportunity in my business. And I always say act immediately, because that motivation and desire to do something, it fades very quickly, right? So I know I already time blocked my day today, and I didn't leave time to do this activity today, but I am committing to having mine done by the end of the weekend, and I promise to share it. And that is accountability, and that is having other people who are like-minded, who are doing the same things as you and value that, and staying accountable to the action that will move you forward in life. So I always say, whenever there's an offer, whenever there's something, you have to take immediate action. Okay, so I hope you'll do this. If you want to commit, tell me you commit right now, and then get it done. All right, have a great day, everybody, and cheers to a really incredible 2026, hopefully together. Bye-bye.